Hey everybody, welcome. I just wanted to uh, walk through a budgeting assignment that's similar to the one in the homework for the class. It would also give you some, I guess, some pointers on basic Excel skills for those of you who are still learning. Again, we're trying to learn to do the functions here. We're not just doing the math on a calculator and then typing it in. So for those of you who've used Excel before, this will be pretty easy, but for those of you who haven't, it might be harder. So what I have here is an income statement that gives the revenue and expenses month by month for a business called Fox Storage for the year 2023. And then below, I have a blank template to make a income statement budget for the year 2024. And then over here on the right, I've got a bunch of information that will help us to make these estimates for the year 2024. So I'm just going to walk you through how to do this. It's very similar to the one that's in the homework, a little different, but very similar. Okay, so again, this information up here on the top represents our actuals for 2023, and we're going to make a projection or a budget for 2024. And so we're just going to go through this information here in the instructions line by line, and that will help us to do this. So the first one says product sales are expected to be the same in 2024 for the first 8 months. So I'm actually just going to come down here for product sales, hit equals, and then just click on what the product sales were in 2023, and it will just carry that amount down. You can also use copy and paste. I like doing this. It just sort of links it to it. And so that is January through August, the first 8 months. Then it says Fox's is participating in the Fantastic Fall advertising promotion for September and October, and that's expected to increase product sales by 25% over 2023 levels for those months, and by 15% over 2023 for the months of November and December. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to say this cell down here, which is our product sales for September 2024, we want it to show that it is a 25% increase over what the actuals were in September of 2023. So I'm going to hit equals, and I'm going to click on the amount for September 2023, and then I'm going to multiply that by 1.25. So if I were to multiply it by 1, it would be the exact same, right? It would still be 3,750. And if I multiply it by 0.25, I'd be getting 25% of 3,750. So by multiplying by 1.25, I'm getting 25% above what it was in 2023. So I'm going to take the amount from 2023, multiply it by 1.25, and that will give me a budgeted amount that is a 25% increase over the 2023 amount. And since October also is under the same promotion, I'm just going to fill this over. And if I click on here, I can see my formula is just to multiply the October 2023 amount by 1.25. Then for November and December, it says those months will be a 15% increase over 2023 levels. So I'm going to say equals, hit my November 2023 amount, multiply that by 1.15. And I'll fill that. So December will also show a 15% increase. For unit rentals, so on number 2, it says it's going to be the same as for the first 8 months. So again, I'm just going to hit equals, click on the unit rentals for 2023, and then come down here to the little nail on the lower right-hand side and fill it over to August. So we're projecting our unit rental revenue will be the same January through August of 24 as it was in 23. But then it says our Fantastic Fall promotion, we expect that in September and October, we're going to have $200 more than what we had in 2023. So we'll just say this equals the 2023 amount for September plus 200. And again, since September and October are both the 2023 amounts plus 200, we'll just fill that over. And then it says November and December, we expect $100 more. So I'll hit equals. I'll hit the November 23 amount plus 100. And I'll use my little tool here to fill. All right, line item number 3 tells us solar revenue is expected to remain fixed at the same levels as 2023. So I'm just going to say this equals the 2023 amount for solar revenue, whatever that is. I'm going to fill it across. There's all my revenues. Now I'm ready to total them up. So to total it, I'll just go down here in the total revenue box. I will go to formulas. I'll use my auto sum button. It already guesses I want to add those 3 up, which I do. And then I'll use my little nail in the bottom right to fill that all the way across. And I'll do the same over here in the total for the row. I'll use auto sum. It will assume I want to do January through December. And so I can then fill that down. The only problem with filling that down, well, actually it works just fine. So I can see that I had a total revenue now, or I'm projecting a total revenue for 2024 of 129,388, which is about what, a little, not quite $4,000 more than what we actually had last year, and that difference is mostly due to that sales promotion that we're planning to do in August and, or I'm sorry, in September and October. Okay, so now we're going to move on to number 4. Our cost of goods sold is calculated as a percentage of product sales. It is expected that this percentage will remain unchanged in 2024. So for this one, I've got to figure out what that percentage is. So I can see up here that I had cost of goods sold and product sales. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say this equals my cost of goods sold. I'm sorry, cost of goods sold divided by my product sales. And I can see, whoops, that came out as $1. That's because we have it set to dollars. But we can change that. If we come here and just say we want percentage, we'll be able to see that it's 60%. Now, I don't really want to leave it at 60%. I just needed to know what that percentage was. Okay. So by taking cost of goods sold, which I guess you could do this on a calculator, and then divide by the product sales, I get that it's a 60%. Our cost of goods sold is 60% of our sales. So now, because I actually still want this to be in dollars, but I'm just going to say this cell equals 0.6 or 60% times product sales. And because I'm still in percents, it'll look weird. So I'm going to change it back to dollars. And I'm going to tell it I don't want any decimals. So once I figure out what that percentage is, just by taking cost of goods sold in 2023 divided by the product sales in 2023, I get 60%. Then I come in here and I say it's 60% times the product sales. We'll give them my cost of goods sold projection for 2024. And once I have that 60% times product sales, I can drag it all the way across and I'll get my estimates for 2024. Wage expense is made up of 2 components, so it's a little bit more complicated. The first is a fixed amount of $2,500 per month for the manager, who is the owner. And the second is 18% of unit rentals to pay for the cleaning crew, who are the owner's kids. This is how a lot of small businesses work. So this, to figure that out, then we're going to say this cell equals 2,500. There's the fixed amount plus, and now I'm going to use a parenthesis. I want to tell Excel, do this multiplication first, okay? And in the parenthesis, I'm going to put 0.18, which is 18%, times, it says 18% of the unit rental. I'm going to come up to unit rentals, click on that cell, And so now you can see my formula is 2,500 plus 0.8 times the unit rental. And then with the parentheses, I'm saying do 0.18 times the unit rental first, then add 2,500 to it. And once I put that in one time, I can use my fill tool, grab the little nail on the bottom here. You can tell the fill tool because it goes to this little black plus sign, and carry that formula out all the way across. All right. Number 6 is our advertising expense, and it's expected to be $12.50 per month, but just for the months of September and October. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 0 in here for January through August. And I'm going to do $12.50 for September and $12.50 for October, and then 0 and 0 for December. Number 7, supplies expense is expected to be 4.5% of the unit rental. So again, I'll hit equal. I'll click on unit rentals, and then multiply that by 0.045, which is 4.5%. Use my fill tool to take that same formula all the way across. There's my projections for supplies expense. Let's see. Insurance expense is a fixed cost that's expected to remain unchanged in 2024. I'm just going to say this equals what the insurance expense was in 2023. And I'm just going to fill that all the way across. So when I first started using Excel, I was always nervous about, like, is it really pulling from the right, places? But you can see what it does is if I say this is B28, which is the amount right here, times 0.045, and then I fill it, you'll see that it just goes across with it. So this is C28, this is D28, etc. So it took me a while of using it to feel comfortable, like trusting that it was actually filling in the stuff it was supposed to. But I promise it does. Number 9, utilities expense is made up of 2 components, $100 per month fixed, plus 3% of unit rentals. I'm going to say this equals 100 plus, and I'll use my parenthesis, 0.03 for 3% times the unit rental amount. I'll fill it across. That'll be my projections for utility expense. And then miscellaneous expense is a fixed cost budgeted at $315 per month in 2024. So we can see up here that it wasn't always exactly that, but it's a budgeted amount. So we're just going to go ahead and put that in here, 315. And again, we'll fill that across. Now that we have all of our expense projections in there, we can do our totals. So again, I'll go back to formulas. Or if you have this more like full screen, this auto sum will be on your regular. You don't have to go to formulas, but because I have it shrunk down a little bit, I have to go to formulas and then click auto sum. That will give me the total expenses for January. And I can use my fill tool here. And what that will do is give me the sum in each column. And then I'm actually get across to there. And then I can use the sum tool here to get the sum across my row and fill it down. And so there's my total expenses. And then to get my net income, my projected net income, I'm just going to hit equals, click on my total revenue for January, minus my total expenses for January. That will give me my projected net income for January. And I'll use my fill tool to bring it all the way down. And there we go. So I've got my projected income statement, or sometimes we'll say budgeted income statement for 2024. And it's based upon the actuals from 2023 plus this information that's provided. In real life, you wouldn't be provided the information. In real life, you would know, oh, we're planning this marketing plan. This is valuable because we can see that in some months we're making more money than others. We also, if we had special costs coming up, like maybe we had to do a renovation of a building or something like that, we could plan that into here. And maybe we would even have some months where we, lost money. So in real life, we do this so that we can have a good idea of what's coming up, and then we can make a plan for those expenses that are going to use more than the cash we're bringing in that month. Anyway, I hope this clarified. And then for those of you who are new to Excel or just uncomfortable putting those functions in there, I hope it gave you some more practice and some insights on how to do those basic functions in Excel. Anyway, have a great week. And as always, if you need anything, don't be afraid to reach out, and have a good luck on, have a good luck. I don't know. Have a good luck on the assignment.